let me tell you how transformation actually fucking works. Because once you understand this, everything shifts. Your brain is wired through repetition. So every thought you think, every action you take, every decision you make, emotions you have over and over again, they're habits. They're literally creating and reinforcing neural pathways. So you, day to day and over several decades, are building the architecture of your identity through what you practice every single day. Okay, welcome back to the Feminine Rebellion podcast. I'm Natty, your host. And today I'm going to share with you 2 questions I want you to ask yourself every damn morning. And this is going to fundamentally change your fucking life. I came up with these questions maybe 7 years ago. One of them came from a therapy session and one I came up with on my own. But it's not, oh, that's Louie. It is not, what do I need to do today? Listen, every woman I know who has shit to get done, who's running a business, who's just living her life, before her feet even touch the ground, she has a mental list of all the things she needs to accomplish in the day. And that puts us automatically into performance mode, into achieving mode, into doing mode. And that's great. I mean, we have shit to get done. And it's starting the day without intention. And I mean, I work with women who want to transform, who want to shift their identities, who want to move from being this, people pleaser or, the woman who's constantly in reactive mode to intentionally creating a life that's fueled by pleasure, where she feels fucking confident and alive and brave and spontaneous and feels like there's a sense of freedom and spaciousness in her life. So these questions you're going to ask yourself, they're fundamental. They will change your life. They are the questions that every single client of mine for the past several years has learned the very beginning of our journey together. And I know for a fact they're still using them today. I am like 7 years into asking myself these questions every morning, and they're still on my reminder screen on my phone. Every morning they pop up. So this shit works. And just so you know, these are rooted in neuroscience. These are questions that expand, our brains, expand our capacity to see things differently, because at the end of the day, we have a fucking choice how we want to live our lives. We have a choice how we want to show up. You have a choice how you move through your days, the boundaries you set, right? Like just this morning, I woke up and asked myself one of the questions, and I determined that I wanted to have a cozy day. So here I am in my living room recording a podcast in my yoga clothes and my cozy jacket because I'm in Boston and it's fucking cold. All right, here we go. Let's dive into the episode. Okay, so here's what I keep seeing. Women come to me completely burned out. It's like they're disconnected, they're dead inside, they've checked all the boxes of success and still feel numb, right? And the first thing, they want to know is, what do I do? Like, give me the steps, give me the routine, give me the fucking habit stack. And look, I get it. We've been so conditioned to believe that transformation happens through doing more, through achieving more, through kind of optimizing, right? That if we just found the right morning routine or the right practice, everything will click into place. But the truth is that behavior change, hi Louie, without identity change is like an exhausting form of performance art. So you can wake up at 5 a.m., you can journal for 30 minutes, you can do your fucking oracle cards, you can do your gratitude practice, you can crush your to-do list and still feel like you're moving through your days completely disconnected from yourself because you're still operating from the same identity. You're still moving through the world, seeing yourself the same way. Yeah, it's exhausting. I spent years doing this, right? Just adding more practices, adding more yoga, adding more discipline, adding more of these like should do's to my life. And I was still kind of contracted, still anxious, still performing what I thought like a successful, evolved, organized woman should be doing, because I was trying to change my behavior without like shifting my identity. So let me tell you how transformation actually fucking works, because once you understand this, everything shifts. Your brain is wired through repetition. So every thought you think, every action you take, every decision you make, emotions you have over and over again, they're habits. I mean, they're literally creating and reinforcing neural pathways. So you day to day and over several decades are building the architecture of your identity through what you practice every single day. But the most interesting part is that your brain, this beautiful brain of yours, doesn't distinguish, doesn't know the difference between what you might be rehearsing mentally and what you're actually doing in your daily life. So if you repeatedly ask yourself a question, you're not just like gathering the information, you're training your brain to prioritize certain things, to notice possibilities, and to identify as a certain kind of woman. So this is why affirmations alone don't work, because you're trying to convince yourself of something from like the outside in. So like, I'm confident, I'm powerful, but your brain doesn't actually believe that yet. Questions, and these questions work differently. Questions create an active search in your brain. They prime your brain to find evidence, to notice opportunities, to shift your focus and your perspective. And when you ask the right questions, not like, what do I need to do today? But something that connects you to your deeper truth, you start operating from a completely different identity. And over time, you completely shift. So think about it. When you wake up and you immediately ask yourself, what do I need to do today? Right? We all have fucking done that, right? Every woman I know does that. You're identifying as the doer, the performer, the one who has to produce, achieve, prove. But if you actually started your day with questions that mattered to your life, right, everything would shift. What if the first conversation you had wasn't with your to-do list, but with yourself, right? With the truth of who you are. That's when transformation like stops being something that you're chasing and starts being something that you can embody, right? You can't perform your way into a new identity. It doesn't matter that you're having your green juice if you're not asking yourself these questions and identifying as a super healthy person. You have to practice it daily, intentionally, before your brain gets hijacked by all of these external demands and expectations that are coming at you all the time, all day, every day. Let's be honest. So for the last 7 years, I've been starting every morning with 2 specific questions. And I don't ask them like while I'm busy doing other things, while I'm making coffee or once I'm already in motion. I ask them in bed before my feet hit the ground, before I check my phone, before I check Slack, before I even say good morning to my husband, before the world gets to tell me like what they need from me. Because it's this threshold between sleep and waking that's the most potent. That's the most potent time. And I'm not going to totally geek out on the science, but you're in the alpha brainwave state. And that's when you have the most sovereignty over your identity, the greatest access to your subconscious. Okay. So these two questions, they've changed everything. They're consistently redirecting me and my clients back to what actually matters and who we're becoming and what we want to experience in our lives. And I mean, for me, they've shifted how I show up in conversations, what I'm willing to tolerate, boundaries I set, decisions I'm going to make that day. They've literally given me back my power because they remind me every single morning, oh, I have a fucking choice. Okay? I have a choice on how I live my life, on how I move through the world. Okay, so here are the two questions. Who do I want to be today? Who do I want to be today? And number two, how do I want to feel? That's it. Simple, right? But let me tell you why they actually work. Who do I want to be today? It's not what I want to do, not what's on the calendar. It's who I want to be. Okay. Do I want to be the woman who's like rushed and reactive, like running around like a chicken with my head cut off? Or do I want to be grounded and intentional? Do I want to be like the woman who's doing everything for everyone, right? Who's people pleasing? Or do I want to be the woman who speaks the truth, right? Who chooses her truth? And I definitely don't want to be the woman who's available to everyone else all the time. I want to be the woman who's completely devoted to my own aliveness, to my own desires first. So this question, it makes you the author of your own identity because you are every single day. You are. And the second question, how do I want to feel? Not how you think you should feel, okay? So not what would be super productive or appropriate or acceptable, but how do you actually want to feel? Like, let me give you an example. This morning, I woke up, and I'm just going to be totally real and raw here. I woke up and I have my period for the first time in 3 months. I'm feeling so slow. And my answer to this question was, I want to feel cozy. I want to feel cozy. So I am in my yoga clothes. I'm in my favorite t-shirt. I'm in my cozy jacket. I'm in my cozy house with my fireplace on. I want to feel cozy. I'm showing up to you in a way that's a direct, through line to my questions this morning. So how do you want to feel? Maybe you want to feel alive. Maybe you want to feel free. Maybe you want to feel powerful, sensual, playful, grounded, expansive, sexy, confident. And yeah, here's actually where pleasure comes in, because pleasure is simply the experience of what feels good to you. Okay. Not what you've been told should feel good, not what's supposed to feel good, but what's actually lighting you up, what makes you feel alive. We've been so conditioned to disconnect from what we want, to disconnect from pleasure, to prioritize productivity and performance over what actually would feel good to us in the moment. And it's different every day. It's different every day. Some days I wake up and I want to be a badass, business person. Not today. But when you start your day by asking yourself how you want to feel, by giving yourself permission to orient your entire life around what feels good to you, everything shifts when you get clear on how you want to feel. You can reverse engineer your entire day to create that feeling. And you should be making different choices based on how you want to feel. You'd be setting different boundaries based on how you want to feel. You'll say yes and no to different things based on these questions. And, this isn't about, again, forcing yourself to feel a certain way. This is about sovereignty, about choosing choosing your internal state instead of letting external circumstances choose it for you. So here's what I want you to do. Put these 2 questions somewhere where you're going to see them first thing. Write them on a sticky note, on your bedside table. Put them on your home screen. Set reminders on your phone like I do. I mean, hell, write them in red fucking lipstick on your bathroom mirror. Wherever you can, post these questions, we're going to see them. And then tomorrow morning, before your feet even touch the ground, I hope you remember, ask yourself these 2 questions. Who do I want to be today? And how do I want to feel? And just let the answers come. Like, don't overthink it. Just notice what comes up for you. And then the most important part is to practice being that person and to practice creating that feeling for yourself. Looking for that feeling. What are the things in my life that are going to give me that feeling? Even imperfectly. I mean, especially do it imperfectly, because what I know to be true is that transformation, shifting identity, it doesn't happen ever through trying to be perfect. It just happens through repetition. Just going back to it, choosing again and again and again. And some days you'll forget, and some days you'll choose and then kind of fuck it all up anyway. That's part of being human. But the practice is just continually coming back to it again and again. This is identity work. This is identity work. This is about fundamentally shifting how you see yourself and how you move through the world. I mean, yeah, when you start asking who you want to be and how you want to feel, you're no longer at the mercy of everyone else's expectations, of everyone else's demands, agendas, right? You're actually living it. You are making a choice and being intentional. It's fucking magic. You get to claim what you want and embody what you want. That is sovereignty. That is power. That's the fucking rebellion. Now, if you want to take this even further, if you want a complete practice that helps you embody and expand and tap into aliveness, check out the 7-minute rebellion ritual. I will put the link in the show notes. It is a 7-minute audio that will completely shift the way you move through your days. It is a game changer. I gave it to all my clients and just recently made it available to the public because it's been so popular. So, all right, grab the 7-minute rebellion ritual, link in the show notes if you want. But definitely practice these 2 questions. Who do I want to be today? And how do I want to feel? And then go practice, right? All right. Mwah. Love you madly. What a fucking week or 2 or 52 that we are experiencing in the world right now in this country. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. Yeah, that's it. Love you madly. Mwah. Peace out.